Hello everyone. Thank you for reaching back out to my channel. Today we'll be reading an interview of Fahad Al-Thumairy, an individual who worked for the Saudi consulate since 1996 and was also an imam at multiple mosques in the Los Angeles area, notably the King Fahd Mosque. He was identified in the previous video that I read related to document titled April 4th, 2016 Electronic Communication as an individual who communication analysis shows had phone calls with many individuals who would be future Guantanamo Bay detainees, had associations with different Islamic fighting groups, and were the subjects of many investigations by the FBI. For example, communications analysis identified a call from Thumairy's phone to the Saudi Arabian family home of two future Guantanamo Bay Cuba detainees, Abd al-Aziz Saad Muhammad, Ashwan al-Khalidi, and his brother Solomon Saeed Muhammad al-Khalidi. The phone call lasted 7 minutes. These two detainees' older brother, Isa al-Khalidi, was killed in a shootout with Saudi security forces in 2004. Also, he was an individual who was noted in this report, stating that he tasked another individual to provide logistic support to the recently arrived future hijackers of Flight 77, which crashed into the Pentagon, Nawaf al-Hazmi and Khalid al-Mihdhar. This is a brief summary of that document that you can find on my channel titled April 4th, 2016 Electronic Communication. Today we'll be reading a little bit of a more descriptive, granular document of an interview of Fahad Al-Thumairy that occurred in May of 2003 by the FBI. And it is a relatively short document, but it does give you some detail about who Fahad Al-Thumairy was, his life, his involvement in organizations, etc. So let's get into this. This video shouldn't be more than 10 minutes long. Now, with this group of documents released in this particular file, this is just the first 7 pages. There's about 300 pages in this document alone. So if you continue to subscribe to my channel and follow along with my video series, I hope to post about 3 to 4 times a week so that we can get through this video series related to Operation Encore, documents related to the Pent bomb investigation, and any other documents related to 9/11 that were produced by the FBI that have been released. They are heavily redacted. However, we can still extract very important details and information from these reports and documents. So I hope you follow along. I hope this information is important to you as we become a more informed public through my channel, through the information I provide, and as we both learn together the history of individuals potentially involved in supporting the hijackers prior to the September 11th, 2001 attacks, and who they are, and what they do, who they're involved with, because these are important items that we need to know. And not only until recently were these documents released. So I hope more people get onto the train of reading these documents and spending the time to really understand what they mean overall for United States national security, for any attacks in the future. These are very important documents, and potentially this can be leveraged to provide for a new 9/11 commission, similar to the 2003 commission that was the original 9/11 commission. So given the more recent release of documents such as the Canestraro Declaration, as well as the Gerald Shea Memorandum, as well as these documents provided by the FBI, I believe there is enough information to have another investigation that would provide a more fair and transparent justice to the families and victims of the attacks of September 11th, 2001. So once again, this channel is only meant to read and provide unbiased information that is publicly available through government agencies or any public source documents. I will potentially provide, I guess, a bias in a sense. I guess my own analysis. I guess that is impossible to have no bias, but overall, these videos are meant to be just readings of documents that I find pertaining to the importance of understanding 9/11. I hope to provide many readings throughout my creation of this channel. I just started it a few months ago, but so far I have read the Gerald Shade Memorandum. I plan on reading the Canestraro Declaration. I also plan on, even though I have already read it, plan on providing a reading of the 9/11 Commission report and many other reports related to the attacks of September 11th. So with further ado, let's get into this report. This interview is of Fahad Al-Thumairy. It is heavily redacted, so if I find any areas that are redacted where I won't be able to make sense of the information, or it won't make sense to you, the listener, then I will try to avoid that in the best way possible. So on May 6 of 2003, Fahad Al-Thumairy was interviewed by two individuals. Fahad was detained by the Bureau of Immigration and Customs Enforcement as a result of him not having a valid visa to enter the country. After being advised of the identity of the interviewing agents and the nature of the interview, Fahad provided the following information. Fahad has been employed by the Saudi Arabian Consulate of Los Angeles, California since 1996. His assignment to the consulate was recently extended for 1 year. He works with two individuals in the Islamic Affairs/Media section, and he has no official duties at the consulate, but rather works as an imam for various mosques, including the King Fahd Mosque and the Omar Al-Khattab Mosque. Fahad was recruited to work for the Saudi consulate by an individual, Saud Al-Abdullah, with whom he studied at the Mohammed bin Al-Saud University. At this university, Fahad obtained his master's in Islamic studies. Saud Al-Abdullah is currently employed at the Islamic Ministry in Saudi Arabia. A previous co-worker at the Saudi consulate, Mohammed Al-Muhanna, left the consulate because he had finished his work. Fahad believed that Muhanna is currently in Saudi Arabia. While in Saudi Arabia, Fahad did not see Muhanna, but spoke to him once on the telephone. At the Saudi consulate, Fahad had no responsibility for visas. If asked questions about visas, he would refer people to the appropriate consular section at the Saudi consulate. Sorry about that. Fahad has not had any problems with the management of the King Fahd Mosque. He had never been told to change the message of his prayers/teachings as the imam or told what topic to discuss. Moreover, he never spoke of America or jihad against the U.S. as part of his prayers/teachings. Fahad provided the manager of the KFM as a reference. Fahad is not aware of any financial discrepancies within the management of KFM, but he has heard rumors about the management skimming from the donations. Fahad initially denied going to the Dar al-Quran Mosque. When told that the people in the community identified Fahad as going to this mosque, he said he has only been 1 or 2 times. Moreover, it was not a mosque but an Islamic school for young children. He was invited to the mosque by an Egyptian individual to listen to the children speak. Fahad has no knowledge as to who funds this mosque. Fahad was approached by members of the KFM to make arrangements for incoming visitors, mostly scholars, to the mosque. Fahad would make reservations for these visitors at the Travel Lodge Motel. He did not pay for the motel. Fahad rented only one apartment for an associate, Salah. Salah traveled with his ailing father to the U.S. to obtain medical care at UCLA. Salah's father died, and he has since returned to Saudi Arabia. Fahad's May 6, 2003 arrival in Los Angeles marked the end of his vacation in Riyadh. No one was at the airport to pick up Fahad. His plan was to take a taxi to the Travelodge Motel, rent a car, and look for an apartment. He likes the Travelodge Motel because of its proximity to the KFM and the Saudi consulate and its affordable rates. Fahad had no plans to call or meet any friends when asked who were his friends/associates in the Los Angeles area. Fahad identified the Consulate General, Sammy. Fahad said he was not a social person and had no persons whom he considered friends/associates with whom he spent time. When asked if he had any friends in the U.S., he only identified one individual living in Texas. Fahad's wife and children remain in Saudi Arabia. The sister of Fahad's wife is pregnant, so she wanted to remain to help with the impending birth. Fahad denied knowing anyone by the name of Omar al-Bayoumi. He was unaware that the FBI had investigated Bayoumi and that it was widely reported that he had aided the 9/11 hijackers. Fahad did not deny the possibility that he and Bayoumi had been seen together and that they had telephone conversations. He explained that because of his position as an imam, Fahad had contact with many people whose names he did not know. Fahad had never been to a mosque where Bayoumi was an imam. He had only been to San Diego twice, once in either 1998 or 1999 to go see SeaWorld, and once in 2002 to attend a party hosted by the imam of the Al-Ansar Mosque. Fahad has traveled to Islamabad, Pakistan. He went for 1 week with a religious group to study at various universities. Someone of Fahad's lives in Al-Takasi of Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, with a home telephone number which is blinked out. And this concludes the reading of the document that provides a pretty short interview of Fahad Al-Thumairy. Thank you for listening to this video. I hope it provided you with a better understanding of who Fahad Al-Thumairy was. I know we will get more into detail about who this individual was and his involvement throughout the remainder of these documents, but this was a short video covering the interview that the FBI had in 2003 of Fahad Al-Thumairy. So I hope this was helpful for you. Please keep posted for my upcoming videos related to these document readings. And thank you again for taking the time to listen, and I hope you have a great day.